Thunderous applause for Sophie and Edward. Harry madly as Prince Edward step up to take on his role. Sophie and Prince Edward joined other senior members of the royal family at Westminster Hall on Wednesday. The Earl and Countess of Wessex have taken on more prominent roles within the royal family in recent months, with their status in the firm being made evident by their public presence as the nation mourns. When Princess Anne, the Queen's only daughter, dropped to a deep curtsy as her mother's coffin was carried into St. Giles Cathedral on Monday, it was Sophie who outstretched her arm to show her support for her sister-in-law. Sophie had grown particularly close to the late monarch, and it is said she was treated like a second daughter. She and Edward live in Bagshot Park, just a short drive away from Windsor Castle, where the Queen resided for the final months of her life. The Countess was the first member of the royal family to speak publicly about the death of Prince Philip, signalling that Sophie has become trusted as a safe pair of hands within the firm. Sophie and Edward's prominence was escalated following the shock exit of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry in 2020. Ahead of their stepping down and move to the US, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex was set to become a powerful force in a modernizing monarchy. Now, with Meghan and Harry spending most of their time across the pond, the Earl and Countess of Wessex have stepped up, working alongside Prince William and Kate, Princess of Wales, as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were expected to do. It is understood that Meghan and Harry were set to play an important role under the reign of King Charles III, and now, a royal commentator has claimed Sophie and Edward will assume those duties. Brittany Barger, editor at Royal Central, told Express.co.uk, "We've seen Sophie and Edward take on more responsibilities, and this is likely to continue under Charles as king." With Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in the US, it is likely that Sophie and Edward will step up to take on their roles that Charles had planned for the Sussexes before they decided to step down from their duties. Sophie Wessex married into the royal family more than 20 years ago, but unlike her in-laws, Camilla and Kate, she was never made a duchess. That's because her husband, Edward, was bestowed the name Earl of Wessex from his mother, the Queen, upon marriage. However, the couple could now be set for changes to their Earl and Countess titles, as King Charles begins his reign and gives back his Duke of Edinburgh title. If that happens, Edward could be handed the title, making Sophie the Duchess of Edinburgh, a courtesy title which was held by the Queen. It was announced at the time of Edward and Sophie's wedding that he would one day succeed his father as the Duke of Edinburgh with the blessing of the late Prince Philip and the Queen. Sophie once told The Telegraph of the moment she and Edward were told Philip would like them to take on the title. She said, "We sat there slightly stunned. He literally came straight in and said, 'Right. I'd like it very much if you would consider that.'" The title of Duke of Edinburgh was previously held by Charles as he is the oldest child of Philip, but it reverted to the crown when he became king, meaning he is free to hand it out again. However, it is not a given that Charles will automatically hand out the title to Edward, and a report last year claimed the Prince of Wales might not give it to his youngest brother. A source told the Sunday Times, "The Prince is the Duke of Edinburgh as it stands, and it is up to him what happens to the title. It will not go to Edward." However, a Clarence House spokesman said at the time, "We do not comment on matters related to the accession." In a previous interview with the BBC, Edward noted how the final decision on the title remains with Charles. He said, "It was fine in theory, ages ago when it was sort of a pipe dream of my father's. And of course, it will depend on whether or not the Prince of Wales, when he becomes king, whether he'll do that, so we'll wait and see whether he'll do that."